Good morning, and thank you for joining the Mindflash webinar. This webinar will be recorded and shared with all attendees. I will walk you through some of our new simplified plans, since the features we are discussing today are available only on certain plans. In this webinar, we will also have two of our product managers talk about what problems they are trying to solve for customers and how to use these features. First, we will have Laura Rhodes, Senior Product Manager, talk about the Series of Courses feature, when you would use it instead of a course, and some more advanced functionality. Finally, we will have Terence Cito, Senior Product Manager, talk about assessing the impact of training with our new advanced reporting capabilities. Terence will also talk about a new feature called Trainer Roles that helps you limit access for users in your account, which is especially useful for large programs. We will have at least 15 minutes at the end for questions. If you have questions during this webinar, please type them in the questions part of the GoToMeeting window. We have created three simple plans that match the type of e-learning program you are implementing. Our basic plan is for those just starting out with e-learning in their organizations. And hopefully now you can see the screen. So our basic plan is for those just starting out with e-learning in their organizations. The advanced plan is for larger e-learning programs that usually have lots of courses, hundreds of trainees, multiple trainers, etc. The Pro plan is for large e-learning programs that scale up to tens of thousands of trainees per customer. If you aren't sure which is the right plan for you, please call us and we can help you pick. We also offer a complimentary VIP session for new customers to help you get started, where we learn about your program and needs and share best practices from working with over 1,000 customers. We will now go to Laura Rhodes to learn about the Series of Courses feature.
Hi everyone, let me show my screen and hopefully you'll see it. As Reindeer said, my name is Laura and I'm a product manager here at Mindflash, and I'm going to walk you through the new Series interface. Series is available to those on the advanced and pro tiers. So we spent several months building this new interface after having many conversations with customers about their current usage of Series and figuring out how we could solve some of those pain points. We've seen that Series helps a lot of different types of programs. One good example of this is companies that do onboarding, and most companies are very familiar with this. Often there's a bunch of training a new employee needs to take when they first start at the company. Instead of creating one really long course that's hard to digest, people will create a curriculum, and using Series, they're able to group the courses all together and then send out one invitation instead of several. Now, if you're on the basic plan and you don't have Series, then you can invite people to multiple courses individually. This will totally work. You won't have your data essentially located or have passing requirements on the Series level. So it'll still work, just a little bit differently. So back to Series. Often trainers will let trainees finish the courses in whatever order suits the trainee, and it doesn't matter. But there are also situations like when people are in sales training where they want to start with easy introductory courses and then progress to more advanced tactics. And in this case, the trainer will enforce the order of the courses in the series. That will ensure their employees are viewing the content in the right order. So continuing this example, onboarding courses often have quizzes because employees are curious as to how well their trainees are learning the information. So they'll add quizzes instead of series-wide passing score, ensuring trainees are getting the minimum average over all of the courses. And this just easily helps the trainer follow up with anyone who hasn't met the score or seems to be needing a little more help getting the information or understanding the information. Once the new employees have been invited to the series, you can easily watch them progress through the courses, watching to see if they're taking them in a timely manner or if they need a reminder to finish the series. And then ultimately, you can see reporting information on all the trainees and get various statistics that help determine the success of your training. So that's just an overview of the various problems series can help with. Now I'm going to walk you through the new interface, and as mentioned before, we'll have a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions, write them down, and if I don't touch on them now, we will answer them at the end. So let's get into our account. So most of you are probably pretty familiar with this view. What we're going to do here is build a new series, and you actually use the same button that you were using before. So I'm going to click that. And we come to a new series page. And as you can see, we have the same kind of tab structure as we do in courses. And the first tab we come to is the Manage tab. And from here, I'm going to set up my series information as well as my courses. So I'm going to quickly do that. And I could enter a description if I wanted to be more explicit. I'm going to apply that change. And then I'm going to go and add 3 courses to my series, put them in the order I want by dragging and dropping, and then deciding if I want to enforce the course sequence, which means I have to take them in this order. Going to apply that change. Once I have my courses in order and made that decision about enforcing it or not, I'm going to move to the Trainees tab where I can invite people to take my course. So clicking on Trainees and go over to Adding Trainees. What you see here is a list of everyone who is in my account. I can either search for the person I want to invite right here by putting in their name first. Jason. Oops, I guess there is no Jason. Oh, here we go. Here's a Jason McMurray. I could invite him by clicking invite, or let's say I wanted to just invite an entire group. I could click quality assurance. And I think, oh, I have filter up here, so let me delete that. And I have 3 people in quality assurance. I could invite the entire group if I wanted, or individually, but I'm going to invite the entire group. Okay. Okay. So that just makes it easy to decide, you know, if you want to invite everybody at the same time, you can. But you can also easily narrow it down to the specific people that you want to invite. Once I've invited everyone I want in the course, I go back to my trainees list to see how they're doing in the series. Now, obviously, I just invited these people, so what I'm going to do is go to a series that people have already taken, just to give you an idea of what the page looks like once trainees have taken the series. So I'm going to go back to my courses and go into a series I know people are in. Click on trainees, and I'm going to look at these people. So here you can see all the trainees in this particular series. You can see their names, you can see their emails, and you can see what the status of their series is. If I was looking for a particular person, just like we saw on the invite page, I could search for them up here. I could also search for them by group. So I invited the quality assurance group, and actually they have been very on top of it and have completed this series. Once I find a person I'm looking for, I can expand their name to see how they did in each of those courses in the series. So Diane in New Hires Now What, she failed this actually with a score of 65%. She passed the other ones. The reason these do not have scores is because they don't have quizzes in them. They're just content, and she went through all of that. I could also download a certificate from here to see what their score was and print that out if I wanted to keep it on file. As you see at the top, there's filters by different statuses. So if I wanted to go to the in progress status and clear out the group, I would see that there's 3 people in progress. And actually, these people I've already reminded today, so I can't remind them again today. But if I wanted to expand this and perhaps remind someone who is just invited and hasn't started, so Brian Klepper +1, click remind. And that means that Brian will be getting an email directly to him, reminding him that he needs to begin this series. I could also drop him. Let's say I had invited him on accident and I no longer wanted him to be in the course. I could click drop, confirm it, because it will delete anything he might have done. In this case, he hasn't done anything, but if he was in progress, it would delete that content or his progress through it. I'm going to click OK, and he'll be taken out of the list. All of these actions can also be done on the group level. So if I was going to, let's say, look at the developer group, I could drop or remind them all in one click. So by dropping all 3 of these people, or I could remind all 3 of them. So this page is, I'm going to clear this out. This page is giving us good insight into how people are doing in your course with the filters of the various groups, the search or the status. You can easily find the person you're looking for and then expand to understand how they're going through the course. Moving on to the next tab, we're going to go through the Customize tab. On this page, we have begun to add additional functionality to series that you haven't seen before. The first option here is to set a passing requirement. If you check this box like it is here, you can decide what percentage the trainees need to get in order to pass the series. This score is based on the average scores of all the courses in the series. And so you can just make sure that they have completed all the courses at a level of understanding that you set. And so for my series, I've set 60%. And if they don't meet this, then they are not going to get a certificate, which leads me to this next box here, which is certificates. Before, there were certificates, but they were on the course level, and they still are. But if you're not so interested in the course level certificates and you're more interested in one certificate that says they've completed the entire series, this is where you'd set that. You can issue certificates based on their completion, successful completion of the series. We've also added series emails. So now you can go into the emails and preview them with this nice preview button to see what they look like to the trainer. And you can also put in some custom text. So I've entered some custom text here, just reminding them that if they want to, get their certification and move up in the company, that they need to do this. And I could add some more details if I wanted to. And I would apply those changes. So there's an invitation, a reminder, and a completion email that goes out for series. And headed back to the page, the customized page, we have sharing your series. And this area allows people to sign up for your series. So you can allow people to self-register by clicking this box. Doing that basically turns on your public series page. You can then get a link to that page and share it in a number of ways, via email, YAM, social network. One way we've seen, kind of back to that example of onboarding, is people will put this link on their intranet, and once new hires come in to the company, they'll just instruct their trainees to go to the location on the intranet, click that link, and register themselves in the series. This means that you don't have to take the time to put them into your account and then send out that invitation. Instead, they can take care of that and those administrative tasks themselves by enrolling themselves in the series. And then the last tab is the track tab. But before we go there, I just want to let you all know that we are working to add more features to Series and improve things. So we're really interested in making your day-to-day administration of Series easier. And if you have any feedback on what you see here or what you don't see, feel free to give us a call or email. We want to hear from you as we iterate on this feature. So now I'm going to hand it over to Terrence, who's going to show you some exciting new reporting information, which will help you manage your series and just give you a lot of insight into how people are moving through the courses in that series. So Terrence, I'm going to give you control here.
Thanks, Laura. Let me share my screen here. Okay. Excuse me. Hi, everyone. My name is Terrence. I'm also a product manager here at Mindflash. What I'm going to talk to you next is our advanced reporting analytics. So we've done a lot of interviews, and we spoke to a lot of customers and prospecting customers, and we found that you're looking for much better reports than what we have today. We surely give away quite a bit of information right now in our reports, and we're looking to help you. We're enhancing it, and we've enhanced it already in something we've launched a couple of weeks ago. So let's just dive right into some of the questions we're trying to answer for you guys. We'll answer things such as what's going on with all your courses and series, who's behind, who's complete, who's having trouble getting through the course. All of these can be answered with our advanced reporting and analytics, and which are available on the advanced and pro pricing plans. So let's just dive right into the demo. I'm going to start, let me switch my screen here to a product. And we'll just start off where Lori left off in the series. So this is a series dashboard. She was just here in the settings, customize tab, where you can set things such as certificates, emails, and how we can share the series. So in the track tab here, as you can see, by clicking on this, opens up a new window, starts to load our new advanced reports. And we'll let that load here. And this is our new advanced reports as you see it today, as long as you're in the advanced and pro plans. So a few things we'll start off here. We'll have group filters. So if you're interested in, well, there's several different filters, but we'll start with the group filter. If you'd like to separate your trainees into different groups, such as teams, or perhaps you're training customers or third-party sales folks, this is a great place to filter in and see. Maybe you only need to know the results of this series or any of the reports we'll get into a little bit later for, let's say, sales. So we'll click on sales here, hit the apply button, and the page will refresh, and we'll see that only the folks that are in the sales team will show up here. In this case, we only have one salesperson, Brian, and looks like he's done a couple of the courses so far, but hasn't started on the new hires now what course yet. So we'll change the filters back, select all, hit apply, and the page will refresh and bring you back to what we saw a little bit earlier. We also can show it by the trainee. So clicking on trainee dropdown will bring up the list of all the trainees that have been invited to the series, and we can select the ones that you're interested in as well. Also, we have the trainee status. Clicking on trainee status shows perhaps maybe you're looking for the results for this series for archived trainees. You can unselect the active ones and only show the archive. And also we have the date filters. So surely you probably wouldn't want to see the results for something maybe several years past, and you only want to see for those in the last few days or perhaps the last 30 days. You can easily select it, apply the filter, it will pre-populate the dates, hit apply, and the page will refresh, and you'll get the most freshest data. So we'll hit cancel here since we have some data here as well. Some of the reports that, some of the analytics that we're showing right now is how many people are in the invited state, also noted here in the series progress report. Who's in progress, what's the average score? And so it looks like our passing score is 60% for the series, but the average score is 82%. That's a good thing since we know that our trainees are actually passing this course, and that's what we really want them to. That's our ultimate goal. As you can see, here's a list of the courses that's associated with the series. The Getting Started with Mindflash is one of the courses. Looks like 7 trainees have completed it. Just by clicking on this, it'll bring up, it'll basically drill into it and show you the list of all the trainees that have completed this course and also what the scores are. So these guys are doing really great. Scores are 100% and they've all passed this course. Close that out. So scroll down just a little bit more. It just gives you a little bit more information about the trainees that have completed these series and what their scores are. It's kind of a different view of that. If you're interested in exporting some of this data, just scrolling over here, there's a little export button. You can export it to PDF if you want to just PDF that and send it off to a manager or perhaps someone else who is interested in the reports and they may not have access to Mindflash. You can export this to PDF, or you can export it to Excel or CSV if you need to upload it to something such as a third-party program, a HR product, or something like that. So moving on back up, I'm going to switch back to our Mindflash trainer dashboard here. I'll go back to my courses. Active button to see all the active courses. As you can see, we can also access advanced reports here, which will open up our advanced reports. But if we go back to the actual reports itself in the series report, you can see that we can still access it from here as well. This helps you as a trainer to not have to go back and forth between the 2 different windows to access all the reports. You can do it right from here, and I'll go ahead and click that. The page will refresh and it'll redirect me right to the Overview tab. So this page will also show up if we clicked here as well. This will just open a new window. We just kind of took a little shortcut so we don't have to, it kind of reduces the amount of clicks for you to get here. So going back to the Overview tab, there are several different reports as you can see here. The same filters you see above, group names, trainee status, course status, and the date range. And just a note, the group filters is only available on the Pro pricing plan. But you will, for those that are in the advanced plan, will also still get the trainee status and the course status and date range. So as you see, there's a pie chart here. Gives you a different view of the numbers we show down here. Who's in the invited state, who's in progress, who's passed, who's failed, and who's a little bit behind. And we can see there's 3 people behind. But it looks like there's about 48 folks that have completed a course. Well, let's see who these people are. Let's click on that. Who are good trainees? Who are the ones that actually completed everything? Clicking on that drills into the report itself, shows all the individuals who and how many courses they've completed. Looks like Andrew's done pretty well. He's completed 3 courses, and looks like David Taylor has only done 1. So perhaps he only has been invited to 1, or maybe you know that they've invited to multiple. We see that we know which ones they've completed. So we'll close that out here. Scrolling down just a little bit, we have a top 5 courses, top 5 series. I think this is a great report for those who use public course pages. Basically, these are the most active courses that we have. There's a lot of people who are using it, and a lot of trainees in there taking the course, completing them. It's really great for if you like to utilize our public course page or public series page functions. Let's say you're posting this on your perhaps your company wiki, or you're sending it out to several different groups of users in your company, or maybe your third-party resellers. And this is a way to see which one is the most popular ones. I think this is pretty helpful. It's for those who need to self-register for courses, but it does include all the other courses as well. Scrolling down a little bit more at the very bottom of this page, the trends. Completion trends are quite interesting to me. I think that this shows a good sense of more detail into how many people have completed courses, or when people are completing your training courses. As you can see, there's not so much that was going on back in November, but when January came around, there's quite a jump. Perhaps we have a lot of new hires that started in the beginning of January, and they started taking courses. It seems to be a gap in between there, so not a lot of training went on between the February and March timeframe, but things picked up again here in April. at the average time completion also quite helpful too. You can see how much time people are spending on training courses themselves. Once again, nothing really happened after January, or people have done it pretty quickly, and then in April, people have started to spend a little bit more time on it. So scrolling back up, also just want to let you know as well, you can also export these just as you wish. So we'll jump into the course detail tab. Course detail gives you a little more information about the individual courses. This is a great way to just kind of give you a little more detail on the course itself. So let's go pick one of the courses. I know that we had a course we were looking at earlier called New Hires Now What? So we can quickly search for that, filter the entire page, and show you the report specifically for that course. Well, I'm going to start off here on the far right. We have the All Completions link, and by clicking on this, this actually includes all courses that you have and all trainees. Basically, what this does, it gives you we can probably call it a system-wide transcript, if you will. It's a great wide-angle view of all the training courses that you have. It shows you all the courses and names. On the left here is the list of all the trainees who have taken this course or may or may not have started the course. And we'll also pick on my buddy here, Andrew. Looks like he's completed a couple of courses as we see here. Fully exportable. You can export it as PDF, Excel, or CSV files. Close that out. So similar type of, you've seen this overview type of report that we have on the other tabs. How many people are still in the invited state, those are still in progress, and how many people have passed. And also, really important, an average score, or when people are passing, are they greater than 60% or are they lower than that? So as you can see, about almost 80% here, that's not so bad. So we know our new hires are doing quite well. Scrolling down just a little bit, we have the quiz detail tab. Gives you a really great view about the quiz itself. So if you're interested in one of the quizzes, you can just go ahead and click in on that. Looks like there's a 78% passing on in total on that for average score. And we have one question here. It looks like, what should you do with your employee first? So in this view, it gives you a good view, visual indication of how many people, what's the percentage of people who answered it correctly versus how many people answered it incorrectly. So it looks like this specific question itself is pretty clear, and I think that people are passing and it's not confusing. But if the numbers are reversed, perhaps there was something, an error in the question, or maybe you have selected the wrong answer for that. It just gives you a better view of what's going on for this specific question itself. Maybe it's a little bit confusing, and this kind of opens the doors and gives you the opportunity to take a look to see, investigate a little bit more about the question and what's going on there. You know, at the end of the day, you really want your trainees to pass this course. So we'll close that out. Scrolling to the very bottom here, we have a trainees in progress. This is a list of all the trainees that are in the course right now. They haven't completed it yet, but they're in the course, and it gives you a nice, looks kind of like a horse race, and see how many people have actually, how far along people have. So it looks like Dave Dawson is pretty close. He's about 93%, but Kathy, she's only about 20% through, 22% through, so she's still got a ways to go in this specific course. But if you're interested in looking a little more detail about the actual trainings themselves, we'll scroll to the very top. We have another tab called the Trainee Detail tab. By clicking on this, it'll also refresh the page, and if you're interested in, we'll pick on Andrew one more time since he's a good friend of mine, but I'm going to pick on him anyways. Let's do a quick search, click on Andrew Taylor, and we can see that here are all the 5 courses that he's working on right now. Looks like he's completed 3 of them. 2 of them he's still invited, hasn't started yet. Looks like the last time he's logged in was just about 6 or 7 days ago. So we'll have to do something about that, see what's going on. Once again, also another date filter. So we know we're interested in last 180 days here in this case. You cancel there. This is a great trainee transcript report. Perhaps Andrew has been with the company for many years, and he's taken many courses. all the courses he's ever taken will be listed here, and the list can continue to grow. So that's about sums up the advanced reports. Once again, we know we're also always looking to improve our reporting software or anything with Mindflash. So definitely reach out to us through any of our channels, whether it's our Get Satisfaction site, or give us a call and or check with our help hotline. I'm going to move on to trainer roles. Let me make a switch here. We'll go back to our PowerPoint. Full screen. So trainer roles. We want to answer some questions for trainer roles. This has been a question that has came up several times with our customers, and we did some research, and we found out that there are a few different questions we're trying to answer here. One of the questions is, I don't want someone to be able to edit the Mindflash account information. So some of the things that you can edit in the Mindflash account is credit card numbers, logos, the look and feel. You can change the way the public course pages look, or even just adding other people who are trainers. We also have folks that, they have folks that they only need to have access to training, basically. They just want to be able to create courses, edit courses, distribute them, or maybe even just running reports. So we've also created a role for that, what we call the trainer. And the third role that we've created is also a manager role. So a manager role could be somebody who just needs to, it could be an administrator of some sort, an admin in the company, or someone who just needs to only have access to distributing the courses or running reports on the course that you've sent out, or even the series. This person has no access to create a course, does not have access to do any editings to the course, but mainly just to facilitate the distribution of these courses themselves. So that's the three different roles: administrator, trainer, and manager. I'm going to jump back into the product and show you where that's accessed. So I'm an administrator right now. I'm in the trainer dashboard. Right up here on the right where my name is, I click the Manage Account link right here in the drop-down. I'll bring up the administrator page. Let that load for a moment here. And there we go. Scroll down just a little bit. And as you can see, there's a space where it says Manage Team. So this is a really quick snapshot of who is on my team, and what their roles are. And I'll click the Edit button because I'm thinking that maybe Laura just needs to really focus on working on the courses. I really don't want her to have access to any of the account information. I don't want her to try to change my pricing plan, perhaps accidentally downgrading me or anything like that. I can click on her name. I can click the Edit button. And there's a drop-down that's available now, and I can say I just want her to be a trainer. So I click the trainer here. And also, just to kind of let you know, here's a quick rundown of what the roles are. So it's easy to, just in case you forget, administrators access and edit all information, create and all courses and training management, or for the trainer, access to edit all courses, reporting and training management, and the manager role as well. So I wanted to make her a trainer. I select the trainer, hit save, and now she's a trainer. So if Laura logs in, she'll notice that she won't have access to any of these pages anymore, but she will be able to still continue to create courses and distribute them. So I'm looking down here. There's a bunch of trainees that I feel like that could help me do any kind of the distribution of courses, and I only want that person to do that. Paul seems like a great guy. I'm going to add him to my team. He's already pre-selected. We selected our Mindflash pre-selects trainer for him, but I actually want to make him manager. I'll click on manager, hit save, and he will be sent an email saying that that he will become a manager. So he can help me out with the distribution of courses and series. So that just about sums up trainer roles. I think that concludes all our demos for now. If you have any questions, definitely type that into the chat window, and we can answer them.
Okay, we will now move to the questions section of our webinar. And thank you for many of you who have been sending in your questions. We have a question to kick it off, and so we're sending this out as a poll. So you should see a poll window in your screen. So if you can take a moment and just answer the question that you see there, that would help us. Okay, we have about 80% of people who voted. Thank you. Okay, so about the question is, are you aware of a Mindflash iPad app? And about half of you say yes, and about half of you say no. And there's a small group that are not sure. So you do have access to, or all your trainees have an access to the Mindflash iPad app. They can go download the app. It's a free app on the App Store. And all the courses that you've created are available for them to be taken on the iPad. And there's a seamless transition between taking a course on the iPad and the computer. For example, a trainee may start a course on the computer, pause the course there, pick it up on the iPad, and they will continue right where they left off. And similarly, they can come back to the computer. So great for mobile training. We've had some great examples of people using this with mobile sales force, mobile employees, and it really helps employees to get the training they want, where they want it, on a convenient device. So if you haven't tried it out yet, I certainly encourage you to try it out. I'm sure you and your trainees will appreciate it. We now have a few questions. Some of them are related to trainees. So we will switch to the question list. So Laura, you have a couple of questions on trainees. We'll start with you. I just want to reiterate that the series feature is available only on the advanced and pro plans. So for those of you who had any questions there, it is available on the advanced and pro plan. We now have a question from Jose Fernandez. Instead of inviting learners, can I post a URL on my website and let folks self-register? Laura?
Yes, so that link that we were talking about to the public series page, you can put that anywhere, on your website, in an email, anywhere that your learners, your trainees will see that link is a great spot for it to live. They'll click it and they'll be able to sign themselves up.
Thank you. Next question from Nicholas. What kind of new features can we expect to see in the series feature? Laura?
Well, this will actually answer, I think, another question, but we're working on allowing you to re-invite people from the series interface. So instead of having to go to a course to do that, if someone fails, you can re-invite them directly from series, and you can also allow them to retake the courses themselves if they fail. So that's something we're working on. We are not right this moment, but we're thinking about adding the missed deadline feature for series, and the ability to add new people to the system and to series directly from the series interface. So those are some of the bigger features we're thinking about in the near future, and we'll always be making some more minor tweaks to how series works to really optimize it for everybody, so that it's easier to use and more efficient.
Okay, we have a question on roles. Do the manager and trainer role take up one of my trainer slots? Now, the trainer roles are available only in the Pro plan, and you get 20 slots. And yes, they do count towards the slots. We have been receiving feedback both on this webinar and outside that for the larger plans, you want more than 20 slots for assigning roles. So we definitely hear that feedback and are looking to raise that limit. Next question is from Phil Nielsen. Is a Mindflash product being used to put this session online now? No, we are using GoToWebinar, which is a product that's better suited to do this kind of a session. But as you saw with Laura and Terrence, we were using the Mindflash product to do the demos. We will be sending out a link to this webinar for you to review or share with colleagues later as well. A question from Colleen Jackson. Can you have more than one trainer on each course? We are on an older Mindflash and can have only one instructor. The group leaders cannot access that. You still have one trainer on each course, and I think that's primarily for email the trainer kind of feedback, but especially now with the new roles, you can decide that you want to have managers have access just to the reporting functionality, but not to the course content. So they can't change the course content, but they can invite and report on people who've taken the course. And you can certainly have multiple managers on your account who can access these courses. We have a couple of questions from Jen. Will we be able to get a copy of the presentation in addition to a video to use? We will certainly make the video of the webinar available. If you are looking for a copy of the presentation that we made, we'll be happy to share that with you as well. Second question from Jen is, does Mindflash yet have the technology to use interactive flash in videos? And if not, when will that be coming? We don't have interactive flash in videos yet, and there is no firm timeline for that. I'm guessing that this is more for the quizzes and some of the more branching logic. And we do support quizzes and some of the other interactive elements through the quiz templates. And we do have 6 quiz templates there, but not in interactive flash at this point. And the last question from Jen is about SCORM. What about SCORM? Is that yet available? And the answer is no. SCORM is still not supported by Mindflash. We make it really easy for you to bring in all of your existing content, primarily from PowerPoint is what we see content coming in from. Video and PDFs are our most common file types, and we make it easy to create an engaging course out of the content that you already have. If there are specific places that you're using to create content and would like us to support that, we'd definitely love to hear from you. In fact, one of the features that we will be rolling out in the next few weeks is to make it very easy for you to provide us with feedback from the bottom of every page. So we certainly want to hear from you and are making it easier for you to provide us with that feedback. Our next question is from Jorge Monzon. On average, we only need to train 10 to 25 people in English and Spanish on a 6-month timeline. Which is the best entry-level package we can get started with, and what features and costs must we have to create our first courses? The basic plan is probably the one that should be comfortable for you, and that's at $150 a month. And the content that you would have to create your first course is either in PowerPoint, video, PDFs, images, etc. And you can easily add quizzes and a voiceover in our product itself, and you can get your course started. We find that for people who activate their first course on Mindflash, about 63% of them are activating that first course within a day of opening their Mindflash account. So we truly are a super easy way to get the existing content that you have online and distributed in a rapid e-learning manner. There's a question from Rhonda for Laura. Can you go over the passing requirements again? So Laura, that would be
sure. So yeah, and I can go over it briefly, and if you would like to talk about it more, please feel free to contact us. But You can set up requirements on a quiz level, on a course level, and on a series level. So you can make sure that people have to meet minimum requirements on the quiz, and you do that from the quiz editor. You can make sure they have to meet a minimum requirement on the course level, and that's from the Customize tab in the course dashboard. And then what we were talking about specifically was series, and again, that's on the Customize tab, and that makes it so that you can say you have to get X percentage on average for all the courses in the series. So what we'll do is, let's say there's 3 courses, we'll take the scores of all 3 courses, add them up, divide by 3. Whatever that score is, if it meets what you've set as the minimum, then they will have passed the series. If it doesn't meet that, then they will have failed the series. So again, if you want to go over that in more detail on those different options, please send an email, help@mindflash, and we will get that all squared away.
Thank you, Laura. Next question is from Bob Foster. Are there any more sophisticated response analysis tools? What we tried to do, Bob, with the many months that we spent on the reporting project, was to make sure that we didn't just create a whole bunch of reports, but really tried to understand from customers what needs they were trying to meet and what actions and insights they were looking for and they would take from those reports. So a lot of the stuff that we did was designed to answer questions versus just create more reports for you. And we also tried to make it as exportable as possible. You can export the images of the graphs to easily embed in a web page or an email if you need to send it to your management, and also export it to CSV and Excel in case you need to do further analysis. But we are constantly enhancing our product, and in particular the reporting aspects of it. So if there are specific reports or insights that you're looking for that you don't feel we've answered yet, please let us know. Can you add more training to a series once it is activated? And this is a question from Beverly.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Laura.
So series are kind of always in an active state, unlike courses, which are drafted and then active. Once you create a training or once you put courses into a series and then invite people, it's good to go. If you decide you want to add courses to that series after people have started it, that's fine. If they've already completed it by the time you've added courses, it's not going to force them to go back and take those courses. If they're in the middle of it, then yes, they'll need to take those courses. And just to be aware of this, since it is all active, if you take courses in and out of a series while people are going through it or have gone through it already, your reports will look a little strange, just because when they completed it, it wasn't the exact same series as what you've altered it to be. Their overall score won't change, so the data will be correct for the series, but the courses below that series might look a little strange. So just make sure you're probably making fewer changes to the series than more. It'll just help you out on a reporting level, but it is possible. There's no restraints on that.
Thank you. We have a couple of questions on series from Peter for Laura. Enforce course order. Do they have to complete and pass if you have a pass score with a percentage? And a related question to series is drop like the old archive trainee?
Okay.
Laura?
So enforce course order, that just means they have to take it in order. If you have that checked and or have the percentage checked, then they'll have to complete it in order, and also the average of their score will have to meet the minimum score that you set. And if they don't do that, then they won't pass. So I think that answers that question. And then drop, is that like old archive? No, drop and archive are different. So if I drop a trainee from a series, that's basically saying, I don't want them to be in the series, drop them from all the courses, and delete their records. So it's like they were never in it. Archiving actually preserves records. It just takes them out of a billable position. So if you archive a trainee, they're not in a billable position, but if you would still have their reporting data. So if you ever unarchive them, you'll still see them in reports, and you'll see how they did. Whereas dropping, you will have deleted that information.
Yeah, just to add to what Laura said, an archived trainee cannot be taking any more courses. They have to be an active trainee to take courses. If you drop a trainee from a particular course or series, they will still be able to take the other courses or series that they have been invited to. We have a question from Dave Marcus about self-registration. We want to make our course available to self-register, but since it is sensitive internal information, we don't want people outside our company taking these courses. Do you have any suggestions for how we can implement self-registration safely? Great question, and a lot of people are doing self-registration because it's certainly easier, and the way they try and protect against the access going outside of the company is to use secure tools that are already within the company. Examples are to post the link on an intranet that only people within the company have access to. Some people use Yammer and post out the link on Yammer so that only the company employees have access to it. And if you really want to, you can make sure that you invite people, and only the people that you invite can come take the course. So as easy or as secure as you want it to be. There's a question from Bob Foster. Are there any plans to add MCQ generation tools to Mindflash? I am not sure what MCQ generation tools are, but we can look into that and answer it in a future session. So we have a couple of minutes. We have a lot more questions actually than we will have time to answer, but we will try and answer some of the other questions in future sessions and in our blog post as well. So please stay tuned. We have time for 2 more questions before we wrap up. Okay, there's a question from Peter Doty that I think is specific to your account, Peter. So I will forward this to our customer care team, and we will get in touch with you since it is specific to your account. Question on an interactive PDF from Peter. If I produce an interactive PDF with a simple rollover, will this still work once I have uploaded it to Mindflash? It will not, Peter. I don't believe it is. I will look into it to make sure and respond to you on whether that rollover function will still work in an interactive PDF. Do you have an easy way of training someone on how to create a course? This is a question from Roland. And yes, we actually have a couple of sample courses already up on the site. And we have a new course on how to use Mindflash, which hopefully you guys will take and will get certified on. And that's seeing an existing course is probably the easiest way to see how to create a new course. But we are also happy to share and have shared through our blog lots of best practices that we've learned in working with 1,000 customers on what makes for engaging courses, what makes for an efficient training process, and most importantly, how we all can show the impact and effectiveness of training in our organizations. So that's the last question that we have time for. We will answer the other questions that we haven't had a chance to get to separately in other sessions. We thank you for your input and time today. We will send out a link to this webinar for your future reference and to share with colleagues. We do request you to please take a minute and fill out the short survey after you exit this webinar. This will help us to know what topics are of interest to you for future webinars. Once again, on behalf of Mindflash, thank you and have a good day.